Welcome all you whiskey buffs. This is Mark from WhiskyWhistle bringing you whiskey review number 49. Thank you for tuning in. To all the new viewers and to all the subscribers, thanks again for tuning in as you always do. I really appreciate that. Anyway, today we're going to be going to USA, to Kentucky, to look at Evan Williams. Evan Williams, the name itself, is the fabled first distiller in Kentucky. There is some historical dispute about that, but there's a monument erected in the city, and this is the basis for this particular brand, which comes from Heaven Hill Distilleries. And Heaven Hill, they have a whole bunch of brands, so now they call themselves Heaven Hill Brands. It is Kentucky's largest family-owned bourbon maker, and there's the family there on the pictures rolling through. The Shapira family, I believe they're known as. Yes, it is. Presidented? Well, led by President Max Shapira now. Okay, so let's get right into the pouring of this one. This was a gift from a very close friend of mine, whose name is David. And, there we are. In Korea, the best place to find yourself some Evan Williams is at the Grand Ole Opry, which is located in Itaewon. That is a country bar, and if you'd like to listen to some great old country music and have some fantastic bourbon, that's the place to go. Okay, there's a little plug. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so a little bit about Evan Williams while we let that sit for a little bit. 43% ABV, 750 milliliter bottle, and apparently a minimum apparently a minimum of 4 years old. So that's double the minimum distinction to become a straight bourbon whiskey. The full title of this particular product is Evan Williams. Let me read it now. Evan Williams Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. There we have it. Now, if you look at the bottle, it says 1783 on there, so you may be wondering to yourself, has this brand been around since 1783? And the answer is no. Heaven Hill was established in 1935, and this is one of their brands. So what they mean to say is that Evan Williams has been known as the first distiller of Kentucky, and the first time whiskey was distilled was apparently 1783. Okay, again, there's some historical dispute about that. Okay, and this is charcoal filtered, of course, sour mash, as most bourbons are. Sour mash is kind of like sourdough, so some kind of a spontaneously fermented mash, and then you take the mash from the current batch and you use that in the next batch to ferment the mash. Okay, and anything else? This is the second largest selling brand of bourbon in the world, Evan Williams. So I won't mention number one, but I think you may know who that is. Okay, so let's get right into the nosing, and there will be a short advertisement right here. Okay, welcome back. So let's try that together, shall we? We're going to smell it first, and then we are going to taste it, and we'll talk about the finish. Now, one thing I keep meaning to mention before I start one of the reviews is how to prepare yourself for tasting whiskey. Well, if you really want to get into the tasting and the nosing of it, try to avoid all perfumes. Even your shampoo should be either lightly scented or non-scented. Avoid colognes. Possibly try to use an unscented deodorant if you use deodorant. And even your hand soap. Try to avoid the peachy hand soaps, the vanilla hand soaps, and so on. Because when you bring your glass close to your mouth, you're going to be smelling some of your hand. So try to make sure your hands are fragrance free. Secondly, I usually like to brush my teeth about an hour or two in advance of when I do my research, my tasting research for whiskey. And I'll also floss. So brush my teeth and floss. And then I will drink a little bit of coffee. I thought I had my coffee cup here nearby, but no, I don't. Drink a little bit of coffee and possibly a little bit of chocolate to balance that out. And then rinse your mouth very well with water, and then you're ready to go. So give that a try, okay? All right, so let's nose that together. What I find with Evan Williams, it's got a really smooth vanilla scent. I also smell some golden delicious apples, some cinnamon, and deep down there, it's kind of interesting. There is a waxy, leathery note in there, and it's something very, very familiar to me. And then it dawned on me that this is the same smell that I've come across in Glenfiddich. Now, I'm not going to say that there's any relationship there, but Heaven Hill ex-bourbon casks, probably the lion's share of them make their way over to Scotland. And, well, I wonder. You never know. Maybe Glenfiddich uses some of the Heaven Hill ex-bourbon casks. Anyway, interesting. Okay, so let's taste that together. Cheers, everybody. And you start out with a mild sweet, and then there's a big sour push through there, and then it gets a bit dry in your mouth. The cinnamon certainly remains on the tongue, as well as pears. Both unripe and also ripe pears come through for me. Anything I forgot there? Well, I wrote down here Concord grapes. Yeah, both in the nose and in the taste. I didn't mention that one. You know, again, when you're tasting, once in a while you'll taste something, and the next time you may not. It's just the way things work. Okay, and we'll talk about the finish. Finishes off quite dry, and you're left with, well, certainly a bit of cinnamon there. It's a spicy finish, a bit of vanilla, and a little bit of anise flavored licorice, black licorice. Anything I missed there? No. Okay, and we're going to add just a little bit of water to that. I'll put in 1 good spoonful, which, as I've decided, is about 2.5 milliliters. Okay, set that there. Let that mix for a minute. Now, if you're looking at the photos there, well, there's the new logo for Heaven Hill Brands. And there's the distillery in Kentucky, and that's in Louisville. Okay, and so there's the Shapira family. And the next photos, I believe, are the master distillers, and I have that fellow is named Denny Potter, Mr. Denny Potter. He is the new co-master distiller. And then the second photo that's coming here, the man who is on the left of the photo is Craig Beam, the master distiller who's been working there. And there's the bottle. So those are the photos that that I selected for this one. Anything else to talk about there? No, in fact. Okay. I did mention that's a family-owned company. So when you consider its size, that's pretty amazing. Now, the Brown-Forman company is also family-operated. However, it's publicly traded. So it's hard to actually call it a family company. However, the family, I believe, owns about 2/3 of the company, 2/3 of the shares. Okay. Okay, so how about the nose with water? It's certainly sweeter. There's more vanilla there. and still a bit of that waxy, leathery note. I like the nose better with water, in fact. As primarily a Scotch whiskey drinker, I'm really enjoying this nose with water. I think a lot of Scotch whiskey drinkers find bourbon to be so oaky on the nose, and well, so maybe try it with a touch of water, and you may enjoy it even more. Okay, and well, cheers to the Shapira family. Great work with Evan Williams. And again, the sweetness really comes to the foreground with a touch of water added. The vanillas are there. Anything different? Oh, I've written here, well, it's kind of funny, but there's a hint of vanilla pipe tobacco. And again, I wrote that both for the nose and for the taste. Anyway, I know one fellow who might be watching that will get what I'm talking about. Okay, and we'll try that one more time just for the finish. Still dry, the vanilla is still there, cinnamon, and then also just a little hint of mint that you're left with there. So quite nice. So let's talk about the score for Evan Williams. So I've given this a score of 81 out of 100, and I find this to be just a fantastic buy. I believe here in Korea you can probably get that for round about 30,000 won, 35,000 won. Again, thank you to David, and also to the Grand Ole Opry, who I believe are the importers of this brand here in Korea. So head down there if you want to get yourself some. And let's see, what did I write here? Great buy. The oak is toned down compared to other bourbon brands. I think Scotch drinkers can really enjoy this. It's not complex, so you got vanilla, cinnamon is the driving flavors going on there. There is a bit of bite, but overall this is quite an enjoyable bourbon whiskey. Okay, so 81 out of 100, that is the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Evan Williams Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Okay. All right, now, again, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you liked what you watched, you can just click the link right down there below where it says, click below to subscribe. Okay, and thanks again, everyone, for watching. My name is Mark. You're watching Whiskey Whistle, and I hope to see you again next time.